Titanic the Musical premiered in Melbourne last Saturday night. Premiered to a full house, an audience that was absolutely gripped by this wonderful story. Now, we all know the story, we know how it ends, but it's how it's done in this production. They were gripped from the very, very moment those, I suppose the orchestra came down and the actors came on stage. As I said, we all know the ending, but it's how the director, James Cutler, gets us to that point that makes this production a must-see. I interviewed Matthew Hyde a couple of weeks back now, just before it started, and he's just magnificent in the role of Charles. But every leading man needs a leading lady, and Greta Sharif is one of those. She plays Caroline. She's on the line now. Greta, nice to have you with us. Welcome in.
Hi, Lee. Thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you here today. Can I just say congratulations to you. What a part you have played. A magnificent voice, a wonderful part, and the way that you and Matthew just gel, there's some chemistry in that.
Oh, thank you. That's good to hear.
You must have heard that, though, before, because there's just this magic that comes through what you guys are doing.
Yes, well, they're really beautiful roles, and we're both really grateful to have the opportunity to portray those characters. I'm really fond of Caroline, and that's a nice way to feel about a character and a relationship heading into it.
Yeah.
And we really enjoyed working together and creating their story aboard the Titanic.
Well, you were in the Titanic back in, 2006, I think it was. That was your maiden voyage, wasn't it?
That's right.
When you first did this part. So it was a start in your career, I suppose. And was that in Queensland?
No, that was in Sydney.
In Sydney, was it?
Yes, at the Theatre Royal.
So you've reprised the same role that you had then?
No, in that production I played Madeline Astor, so it was a really big cast. And not the same kind of doubling that happens. Well, we did double, but yeah, it's a reduced cast in this version. So yeah, it was Madeline Astor back in 2006.
Well, from the cast, as I recall Matthew telling me, you're all playing at least 3 parts. And,
that's right.
And the way you work on stage and change so quickly, and even your character's got to change. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, that's a lovely challenge for us to have to do that, to portray a different character from a completely different class and a different set of aspirations so quickly. It's lovely, and it's a great ensemble piece for that. We all get to work off each other.
Greta, I did a review on this last week after I saw the show. I think I posted it on Monday. And one of the comments I made about it was, and you wouldn't see this because you'd be backstage, I suppose, or side stage, but there's that poignant moment towards the last 10 minutes of the Titanic the Musical where the 3 guys are standing on stage.
Yes.
The lights are dim, and they're looking sideways to the audience, and there is utter silence. There is just nothing. And then suddenly and very gently they start to sing. Yeah. That is just so emotional.
It is.
Isn't it?
I think, well, we did get to witness it in rehearsal, which is lovely to do. But it's a really brave moment of direction that's paid off beautifully, which I think we're kind of blessed with all throughout this production. James Cutler has just handled it so sensitively and so delicately, but bravely as well, to take those moments of silence because they've been earned.
Well, he's a brilliant director, and as a young person, he's got a fantastic career ahead of him in directing.
Yes.
And the way he must direct all of you so that you can then portray your character to the best ability is just fantastic. The thing I really admired, there was a lovely duet you and Charles did, well, Matthew did, I Give You My Hand, I think it was called. Yeah, just a beautiful song when you're performing that together. That's lovely.
It is. It's a beautiful song, and that one wasn't in the original Broadway version.
Wasn't it?
No, it's been added back into the chamber version. It was cut initially, and it's lovely to have it back in.
Oh, it's a gorgeous song. It really
so nice
is.
To have that chance to sing with Matt. He's a dreamboat to sing with, and I'm delighted.
Now, how do you cope with all the running around stage? And when I say running around, you've got to get off stage, get changed quickly, pull the clothes off, put it back on again. How do you go? Do you get exhausted by the end of the show?
With the logistics of it all? No, that's all. That kind of energises you, I suppose, those moments in between to refocus and...
Keeps the adrenaline going, does it?
Get your head together.
Keeps the adrenaline...
What we've all found is that the exhausting part is emotionally 2 is quite draining.
Yes.
Because we all kind of go through grief of a sort.
Yeah.
And emotionally and physically we grieve, and it's demanding in that respect.
And Greta, that comes across on stage. That's what I was saying before about not only your song, but those 3 guys towards the end and standing on stage there by themselves. You could feel the audience, getting out the tissues and having a bit of a tear, because it leads you down that path. The first part, yes, it's wraps up just before the big storm and the ship starts to go down, the curtains are rattling and all sorts of things happening to us and the lights are flickering. Then you come back after that to this totally different act, and it's wonderful how it's done. And the emotion, as you say, so from an audience point of view, being moved like that, I'm glad to hear it moves you guys too, because that means you're playing that part so beautifully every night.
I think too, enjoying Act 1 with the hope and with the excitement that boarding the Titanic meant to all those people. James has told us from the outset, these are people who want to live. That's how we start our journey. We can't preempt it. We have to, the higher our joy and excitement, the deeper the sadness. In Act 2, when we're ripped asunder, it's such a journey, and it's a lovely challenge and honour as an actor.
Well, of course, you're one of those that are saved in the lifeboat, and Hubby's left to perish, and we all feel very, very sorry for him. And look, when you look back in history, how sorry we all were that ever happened. Goodness gracious, just to think this ship was so big and it was unsinkable. But it did happen. Look, I really appreciate your time today, Greta. It was lovely to talk to you. Congratulations on a wonderful show last week. Saturday night was just phenomenal, and I dare say the whole of next week's going to continue the same way for you too. So best wishes with your career, and for your portrayal there of Caroline. I just loved it.
Thank you, Lee. Thanks very much.